Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here on Villain Madness Day in the Locher Room. I'm Alan Locher. Genoa City has no idea what's coming as Ian Ward and Jourdan team up to cause some havoc. Ray Wise and Colleen Zenk recently made their dramatic and unexpected return to The Young and the Restless to continue their revenge tour. Colleen's Aunt Jourdan hasn't been seen since June, and Ray's Ian Ward has been MIA since 2016. Ray won the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Performer for his work on YNR in 2015. These two have formed a dangerous alliance that's guaranteed to keep us, the viewer, on the edge of our seats for the foreseeable future. It is my pleasure to welcome Ray Wise and Colleen Zenk to the Locher Room.
Hey. Hello.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Alan.
Pleasure to meet you. Ray, why don't we start with you? How did the show approach you about bringing Ian Ward back to the canvas?
Well, I got an email from Josh, our executive producer, head writer, and he said, "Would you be open to letting Ian Ward out of jail and come back to Genoa City?" And I had secretly hoped for the last 7 or 8 years that they would let me out of jail and I could come back and reestablish my relationships in Genoa City.
Did you have that much fun the first time around?
I had a great amount of fun the first time around, and we're having even more fun now.
I think so. These last few days, Colleen, when you left in June, you and I talked. You knew you'd be returning at some point.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea this is what Josh had in mind back then?
I only knew that Josh said to me, "You need an accomplice."
Ooh.
And then my brain started working. My brain started working because I know the history of the show, and I went, "Oh my God, could it be? Could it be?" And there it is.
Well, I know you watched the show, Colleen. Did you, as the things were unfolding with Sharon, were you wondering if you had anything to do with all of that?
You mean before we came back?
Yeah, before you started.
No, I didn't really think about that being part of where it was coming from because we were off camera.
Yeah.
For so long during the summer, and then all of a sudden things started happening with her, and I went, "Oh my God, we've been in the background for months, and in Genoa City, and not even knowing that we were there."
Yes, I had no idea about anything. So,
well, I'm so impressed with Matt Cain and everybody at YNR. Colleen, a year ago when you came to the canvas, nobody knew what was happening.
Nope.
And nobody knew this time around. What was that like for both of you? I know you couldn't even attend the 13,000th celebration.
No, they kept. I was so upset about that. Frankly, I thought, it's a 13,000th show, and World Turns we were on for 13,000 and almost 14,000, and so it was a very, very big deal. But we couldn't be a part of it because we were, backstage. And that made me very sad. But here we are.
And I think it was well worth it.
I didn't even know there was a celebration. See, that's how much in the dark I was.
That is so funny. By the way, the little thing I used at the intro of Villain Madness came from one of our fans, Gabriel. He had written that earlier on the chat here, and I was like, I'm going to use that.
We have coffee now.
Villain Madness. Colleen, you just spoke to Michael Maloney, contributor for TV Insider, and you talked about the fact you two had never met, and you met in the makeup department for the first time. Both of you. What was that meeting when you first met?
Well, I Ray was sitting in the makeup chair, and I walked over. I said, "Hi, I'm Colleen, and I'm playing Jourdan." And he looked at me like, "Okay, who?"
I had no idea. Unfortunately, I hadn't watched that much of As the World Turns, but I did. I researched her a little bit when I found out who was playing the part, and I saw her history, and she's the dancer that she is.
Oh, stop it.
Yes. And I saw, and then she sent me a legs commercial, which I thought was.
I played that last year, I think. Well,
That was outstanding.
Outstanding.
She had beautiful legs, and
making me blush.
I haven't seen them lately, but she's always wearing pants and covering them up, so I don't get to see them.
Well, in a Soap Digest interview, Josh Griffith discussed his love of Hitchcock films. Did he share his thoughts on that with both of you and tied to this idea?
Did he with you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he mentioned Hitchcock. He also mentioned David Lynch. Because I'm an old
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, and I think he it matched up with his story idea, this whole Alfred Hitchcock approach. Yeah.
But what I remember, what Josh told me about you, is the whole connection with David Lynch, and how he revered David Lynch's work.
Yeah.
And your work.
Yeah.
And the whole Twin Peaks saga.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I started to go back, because I remember Twin Peaks, but in the day, but I was working.
Yeah. So yeah, right.
I was like up at 3:45 every morning and going to World Turns, and wasn't
you can't
watching.
You can't pay much attention to anything really, except
exactly
As the World Turns.
And
learning lines.
Learning lines and commuting, and commuting and children. And but what Josh told me, because I told him this is a couple of months ago, after we started working together, I said, I've been looking. I have now screened the entire first season of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And then I said, and then I went to the 2017 version, and Josh said to me, no,
don't
go back. Go back. You have to go back to Fire Walks with Me.
Right.
And watch the film, which I did. And this man, as an actor, I can't believe the bravery that you had with that character. I mean, Ray.
Well, Colleen, you also told Michael Maloney that you have found an acting partner in Ray that you never expected to have at this point in your life.
Right.
Elaborate on that.
I mean, look, we both have been around for a long time. We both
not your first time at the rodeo?
No. I mean, we both come from the theater.
And 57 years for me. 57. I've been a pro actor.
I can go back further than that because I've been a member of SAG since 1967.
That's when I became a member of Actors Equity.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as actors, we have a lot in common, and then we have never met before.
No.
But we have so many people in common, and that's kind of the stories that we've been telling each other.
We discover new ones every day.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But to be my age, I'm going to be 72 in a few weeks. To find somebody that I can work with at this level in my life and be asked to work as an actor, as a female
Yeah.
actor at this point is remarkable.
72.
Oh.
You're just a baby.
Oh, shut up.
Well, watching you two, Monday and Tuesday, I mean, it doesn't look like you're having fun at all.
Are you kidding? It's nonstop laughs. And then of course we get serious when the cameras are rolling.
543.
That's it.
One of the viewers, Ray, said, I want to thank Mr. Wise for the joy he brings me. When this crazy world gets to be too much, his voice and smile soothes me. He is an amazing actor.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, thank her very much for me, would you please?
I will. I don't know. RRG Light is their screen name, but yeah.
Wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah, yesterday and today saw a wrinkle begin in this beautiful alliance as you, Ian, Ray as Ian, may not be holding up your end of the bargain to help get revenge against Jourdan's enemies. How would you describe their agenda?
Well, I don't know where she gets that. Why I'm holding up my end of the bargain. I always hold up my end of the bargain. I always do. You have to, sometimes you have to dig down to find the actual agenda that I'm working on, but I'm always holding up my end.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Oh, see? Who contradicts me at every turn. At every turn.
She's giving you a run for your money, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness, she is. She certainly is. I said, that Colleen is actually female Ray Wise.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And then vice versa. And vice versa.
There we go.
I love that. Carolina Hottie says, Colleen, you're gorgeous. Ray is a hot daddy. What a delicious treat we are all enjoying with Colleen and Ray returning to YNR. Soap's very own Joker and Catwoman.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I like that too.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. That is fabulous. What was it like when everyone around the studio saw both of you return?
Oh my God. I don't think people got it until they saw us on the set and they saw what we were doing. And at that point, I know both of us heard from various sources, oh my God, this is genius casting. This is genius pairing of characters, actors, and
yeah. They well, for the longest time they just called me Mr. X. X. They didn't want anyone to know that it was me, that Ian Ward was back.
Well, I didn't know until I walked into the makeup room that morning.
Yeah.
And I had hoped and envisioned, and there you were.
You didn't know what you were going to get, did you?
No, honey.
No.
You got more than you bargained for.
Oh my God.
It's so interesting, Colleen, when you came back, I was so impressed at, how Aunt Jourdan was connected to Eve Howard in the past. And Ian, Ray, I understand Ian as well. When you joined in 2014 or so, you had a past with Melody Thomas's character, Nikki.
Yeah, they went all the way back into the 60s.
Yeah.
I was a cult leader. And I had my own little group of disciples and followers, and she was one of them. And Paul, the old
Doug Davidson.
Yeah, Paul, he was one of them too. And I guess I had a great effect on their early lives.
Oh.
Yep.
That's amazing. How did the role first come about back then?
How did the role? First
how did they approach you? Do you remember?
Good question.
Yeah, let me think now.
So that would be after Twin Peaks.
It was 2014, I believe. 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah, it was way after Twin Peaks. It was after I did a series called Reaper, where I played the devil
Right.
on television on the CW network for a couple of years, and then I was doing How I Met Your Mother, and then I think I just got a call from my agent out of the blue saying, "Would you be interested in playing this character on a soap opera, Y&R?" And I said, "But sure. What's the character? What's it all about?" So he's a cult leader. I said, "Stop right
Okay.
there.
You got me.
You got me with cult."
There you go.
And so I agreed to it, and the rest is history. I think I did some 65 or 70 episodes.
I watched back
as
then.
Ian. Yeah,
I watched.
did you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, World Turns was off the air.
Right.
So I was in Florida caring for my mom, and would turn on the show every day
Mm-hmm.
and see my friends.
Right. Yeah.
And you, who I never knew.
And you didn't know me at all.
No.
No.
No, I only knew your work.
Right.
I only knew your work, but I never knew you.
Right.
And
Ray, a fan, Tony, was asking, I mean, you had 7 years on Love of Life, and then you really hadn't had a long soap gig until Young and the Restless in 2014. How
Right.
different from Love of Life to when you did Y&R the first time around?
Oh, like
Oh my
night
God.
and day. Yeah, no comparison. Love of Life was a half-hour show, and we did it like it was a stage play. We started, with the first act and kept right on going until the fifth act, and some 23 or 24 minutes later, we were done.
But you also had a table read at the end of the day, correct?
We had a rehearsal at the end of the day.
At the end of the day for the
Yeah.
following day.
We were done shooting the show by 1:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
And then we come back at 2 and rehearse for the next day. Yeah.
I mean, that's how things were done back then.
Yeah, I remember, I think like Search might have even had that or something back in the day.
They
Back
did.
in the day. Gerard said Ray was wonderful and heartbreaking in Twin Peaks in both the jail scene and the scene with Alicia Witt playing the piano.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Come on, get happy. I said, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Colleen, going back to World Turns, you were quite the victim of one of daytime's most notorious villains, James Stenbeck, before turning Barbara into one herself many years later. Of course, James was played by the incredible Anthony Herrera. Do you ever think what Anthony would say watching you having this delicious fun?
I want to cry. He was a very, very dear friend. And we went through a lot together over all of our decades on the show. And cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You were.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Take that.
Thanks, honey.
See, he's not that bad.
I mean,
See?
Anthony would be so happy for me right now. And the fact that I'm here
Mhm.
with Ray, and the fact that I've turned this character into like the female bitch from hell.
Like a female James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always returning.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Ray, talk about working with Melody Thomas, and I think Steve Burton played your son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve Burton was my son, or at least we thought he was. And,
At first, he was your son.
Yeah. And it's great work with Mel. She's been on this show forever, and we had a great time working together. And I did many nasty things to her in my time. Oh yeah.
Oh,
I believe I
I don't wanna
kidnapped
know.
her also, and
really?
I shot Victor
Oh, shit.
that time, yeah, I did a lot of terrible things and set fire to a building where everybody was having a party, and
Are you the one who set fire to the farm, to their house?
No,
no, she did that.
I did that.
She did.
No, but you did that to their
You-
original house. What, or
To the
the
building.
one that Eric The one that
Building.
Victor just rebuilt. Is that what you did?
I set fire to this office building where they were having some sort of an office party, and that's when Justin Hartley was playing.
And
Adam.
Yeah.
And we had a knockdown, drag out fight, and then the building was burning around us, and everything was falling down on us, and you thought maybe I was dead because a big chunk of the building fell on me.
you didn't die though.
No,
Thank
Can't kill you that easy.
no. That's one great thing about the soaps. You don't die that easily. It's a great thing.
It's a good thing. You know, after doing Love of Life, I think you did Days very shortly, right? Was it
Yeah,
Days?
yeah.
Did you ever think you'd do soaps again? You know, thinking after Love of Life?
No, I never figured I would ever do soaps again. And then this Days thing came along, and played this little character called Hal Rumley, I think his name was, and I did like 8 or 9 or 10 episodes, something like that, and ran its course. And I never thought I would do that, but they caught me at a good time. You know, I was out of work and I needed a paycheck. I don't like to go
to work.
I like to go 1 week without a paycheck of some kind. So
You know what? We are both such lucky actors to have worked our entire careers all this time. I mean, there aren't that many people in this industry who can say that.
no.
And it's such a privilege to be able to keep working. And
I mean, talk about gratitude, huh?
I mean,
Oh, I'm so grateful.
oh my
to this.
God. I always have said I'm the luckiest actress. I don't use that word very often. The luckiest actor around at my age to have been given this opportunity to keep working. And now I got him.
And she's dynamite. I mean, I look at her in awe when we do our scenes. She comes up with this stuff that I never anticipated, and that's the beauty of it. You know, it keeps me revved up, and it's on my toes, and everything she does is just it's a joy to watch her. You know,
That's the fun of it, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Challenging each other where you least expect it. Colleen, I wanted to mention Cassandra said, 3-time cancer survivor here. I know all about those feelings, Colleen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. And the way, you know, just, you know, because you do have 2 different agendas of those characters, and you know, coming from 2 different agendas, really. And so, like, you're, you know, there's so much I can't wait to see where they take it.
Well, I think there's a great possibility that our agendas may merge, and at least I hope so. And we're not so much unalike. We're alike in many ways, and I think there is a great love between Ian and Auntie Jourdan.
Well, I definitely heard that Mariah and Claire should be very afraid. So, you know, excited to see where that.
I think everyone
going
should be very afraid.
Yeah.
Colleen, I just shared the Soap Opera Digest cover 17 years ago when you shared your cancer journey with everybody. The fans were all asking how you're feeling.
I'm remarkably good. I had great care. I had great surgeons. I'm very grateful, and I'm healthy. And been cancer free for 15 years.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, excellent.
I mean, I can't complain about that.
That's awesome. Lisa says you are my idol, Colleen.
Oh.
And Terry says it's a blessing to be able to watch two very talented actors.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're having no fun. We're having no fun.
Yeah, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look like it. You are at all. At all.
Anytime you can get the two of us together is fine by me.
And Alan, you've known me a long
I
time.
have. Colleen, Jonathan Reiner is asking, what was tougher, the bull ring or the Brussels sprouts?
Okay, that's very funny. We had dinner a couple nights ago on his birthday.
I know. He told me I texted him on his birthday. He told me you guys were seeing each other.
Oh my God.
The Brussels sprouts.
The Brussels sprouts. You don't even know about that. The bull ring.
Victor fed her Brussels sprouts, which she hates. Aunt Jourdan hates.
I told you about that.
Yes, you
and
did.
he
Yes,
spit them out at me through the dungeon walls.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to teach him a lesson one of these days. And I don't know. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. The bull ring was real. I mean, we were in Spain and we were in Ronda, which was the smallest bull ring in Spain, with a real bull. It was terrifying. And I was, how old was I? 28, maybe 29. And it was real. And they, I don't know if people know the real story about what happened, because when a bull enters a bull ring and sees a human being, they become terrified. But then they realize, oh, okay, we got the upper hand. And what happened was that bull had to be killed.
I didn't realize that. Wow.
In the bull ring, because it no longer was menacing, because it realized that the human beings were not the threat.
Mm. Well,
it was incredible.
Doesn't every bull that enters the bull ring end up being killed?
Yeah. And so that's what happened. And there was little Danny Pintaro, who was like 5 or 6 years old at that point.
Did you see that Danny just was in the hospital?
I did. I just saw it.
Really?
I just saw it. I know.
I think he might be out. I'm not sure. I
think he
was doing much better.
Yes, I think he got out yesterday, maybe.
Okay. Yes, I didn't get to hear what he said, but it looked like he was out. It looked like he was out. Ray, take us back to 2015 and winning the Daytime Emmy. What do you remember about that night and them calling your name?
Well, what I remember most is that it was a 3-way tie.
Yeah, Donna Mills, right?
Mills, Fred Willard, and myself. God. So
there's company.
So
that's pretty good company.
Yeah, Fred Willard, Bold and the Beautiful. He got it for Bold and the Beautiful. He got it first, and he went up and accepted his Emmy.
So they called it one at a time.
One at a time. It was excruciating.
Are you kidding?
And then Donna Mills got it second. And she went up and accepted it and gave her little speech. And I'm 2 out of 3 gone. And then they said Ray Wise. And oh, okay. Then I went up and I accepted mine and then couldn't remember my executive producer's name. It just all flew out of my head. And
they still invited you back.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, isn't that something? Well, there's been a big turnover since then, so it's.
I'm here now.
Yeah, she's here. She's here taking very good care of me. She won't allow them to. Right. She won't allow them to do anything against my person.
She's your protector.
Yeah, she's my perspective, and I appreciate it very much.
Grant Rand says, really enjoying this conversation. Colleen's passion and love for this genre is beautiful.
You know,
Colleen, did you ever, I don't know if I asked, did you, prior to World Turns, did you watch a soap?
No.
Never did.
Nope. Nope. My as a child, my grandmother watched Edge of Night, but I never really watched. I would show up at her house after school and go, but I never watched. And even in college, I had girlfriends on my floor in college who were addicted to All My Children. But I did not watch. I was a drama major, and all of my friends on my floor were not drama majors. and I did not want to partake in what I felt was something that I didn't want to do. And here I am. Here I am.
There you are.
I know.
Many
And
years
having
ago.
the time of your life, right? You know, like
I mean,
you never should say, you know, you just don't know.
no.
Right? You have to be open to all.
I have said this. We've discussed this. Ray and I've discussed this, and I've discussed this with many of my friends in the business. I love this genre so much. I love the way we have to work. I love what we have to do from day to day. If I were doing a film and doing a page a day or 3 pages a day, I'd go out of my mind because it's so immediate. It's more like theater here with what we do. And I so appreciate it. And I love the fact that the fans are still with us after all these years. And I'm thrilled that there's a new show coming on, Behind the Gates, CBS. Oh my God, we have a block. And
which is amazing. Amazing.
It's unbelievable.
And really, your dear friend is one of the stars.
Far too much. I'm so happy for her. Oh, hello, my phone. But I so appreciate the fact that the fans have been with us all these years, and I've been able to work in this medium that I love. And the fact that I have been able to watch a character, first Barbara Ryan, grow and change through all the years, and now have the opportunity to play this psychotic, murderous villain.
Yeah.
Ray, do you agree about the work? Do you appreciate the?
Oh yes, because well, we're both I guess you could say New York actors, and that's where we got our beginnings. And I remember on Love of Life, the entire cast they were all New York trained stage actors. They were wonderful actors. Well, you couldn't get any better people, and so I remember a story that they wrote about Love of Life a long time ago of some of the actors that had been on the show, like Warren Beatty and Peter Falk and Roy Scheider, and just the list goes on and on. I mean, all of them went on to do great things, and they got their early training on Love of Life, and so I think working in front of those 3 cameras whenever we had, it was a 3-camera show.
Wait, no, we have 5.
You had 5?
We have 5.
Oh, we have 5 now.
We have 5 cameras out here now.
No, this is so cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
5.
in
That's
those days, on Love of Life, we had scrolls on the side of each camera that had all the lines on a rolling scroll, and so we became very adept at if we went up, which means we forgot the next line, at checking out what the line is on a camera that wasn't really on us, and to make it part of the acting performance, if indeed you had to use that scroll, because they didn't like to stop ever on Love of Life.
But that's why you got out at 1 o'clock every day.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But now
Wow.
Today, you mess up a line, you can stop immediately and go right back and redo it, and so it's a wonderful process now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you worked with Christopher Reeve on Love of Life?
Christopher Reeve, yeah, we were buds. He had just got out of Juilliard. He was in the same class as Robin Williams and a few others. He was wonderful, and I remember I would do plays at night, do the soap during the day, and do theater at night. And I did a couple of Broadway shows, and I remember I got a part in Romeo and Juliet on Broadway, playing Benvolio. And Chris had already left the show. His character, I forget what happened to his character, but he had left the show. And I got a call from him that night after I got cast in Romeo and Juliet, and he wanted to know if there were any parts still available. Well, I don't know. I don't know if there are any parts, but I'll find out. I'll check for you and see. Well, there weren't any parts available, but about a week later, Liz Kemp, who was also she was an actress on Love of Life. We met for drinks at Joe Allen's, and she told me, "Guess what happened to Chris?" I said, "What?" "He just signed to play Superman."
Mhm.
And for whoever the producer was, whether it's Saltzman or maybe Cubby Brock, I forget who the producer was, but he signed a 3-picture deal,
Mhm.
and he's looking for a bit part in Romeo and Juliet. He gets Superman.
You needed to call him and say, "Do you have a part in Superman?"
Yes.
So
I think that's the phone call you needed to make.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking.
before that, before he signed, when he was actually testing for Superman, Chris and I, did a commercial for Head and Shoulders shampoo.
Ah!
Yeah. I mean, the business is funny.
That is wild.
Very lucky to be here and be working.
Yes.
And getting a phone call.
Forever grateful. I think
Getting a phone call.
I think sometimes the young actors don't really appreciate it like they should.
Not at all.
I always say to them, save your money.
Yeah.
Save your money. Have a bank account and put some money into it, because it's not always going to be like this.
Right.
Or maybe it will be. Maybe you'll be fortunate enough that it will be, but chances are it won't be. So, and be great
are in the business. Ray, are you, when you look back on Love of Life in those 7 years, are you happy you had them at that time for what it helped teach you?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It gave me the confidence and also the training that I needed to stand in front of a camera. I thought I was James Dean at that time. I was walking around New York in a white T-shirt and jeans.
Cigarettes rolled up.
We're rolled up. Yes, and
From Akron, Ohio.
The rubber capital of the world.
There we go.
At that time. And I thought I was pretty hot stuff on a stage, but then I started doing the soap, and it taught me a whole new ball game. And so that early training, I give my later career a lot of credit for that early training. It was just exactly what I needed at that time. I was like 20, 21 years old, I think, at the time. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I needed.
Perfect.
Huh? You were out of college.
Just out of college, yeah. Just graduated, and I went to New York with a suitcase and $300 in my pocket that I had managed to save up.
Why'd you choose New York over Los Angeles?
Oh, I was a stage actor.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say. Yeah, theater.
I was the king of the theater department at Kent State
There we go.
University,
Yeah.
and it never even crossed my mind that I'd want to do episodic television. So anyway, I went to New York because I knew that that's where James Dean and Marlon Brando all started. So all the great ones. So and Paul Newman, Montgomery Clift, all New York boys.
Oh my God.
So I went there, and with a suitcase and $300 in my pocket, and a date to meet with an agent. And I met with an agent, and he sent me out on two things. One was a production of Fortune in Men's Eyes that Sal Mineo was directing, and the other was an open casting call at CBS on West 57th Street. And
I know the building well.
I walked into that casting call, and Jean Arley was the casting director at that time, she later became executive producer of Love of Life. And she handed me a few pages, and she said, go out in the hall, look this over, and then come back in and read it for me. I went out in the hall, looked it over, and came back in, and I read it like on the waterfront. Okay. and she looked at me.
I love it.
Yeah. And she looked at me and she thought, well, I don't know what this guy's doing, but he has some potential. And so I got a call 2 or 3 days later to come down to the studio on West 53rd Street, which was the Love of Life studio at that time, and do a camera test. I did the camera test for a very fine director that I love very much, Larry Auerbach. And I love Larry.
Oh my God.
He taught me so much that I'm
Did you
forever.
know Larry?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The name sounds familiar. Ray, did you have to do that screen test opposite anybody?
No, because it was a scene where I was going through somebody's purse. I was replacing a guy in the show, a guy by the name of the character's name was Jamie Rollins, and he was kind of a hippie college radical, and that's how I started as a hippie college radical. And then in 7 short years, I was an attorney in the district attorney's office.
Of course you were.
A reporter for the local newspaper, and working with a gal pal on the newspaper, Marcia Mason. The actress Marcia Mason.
Yeah.
Later, married Neil Simon, and that's a long story. Anyway. Yes, and that's the way it happened.
Were you surprised how quickly you had a role on a television show?
Yes, and I never expected it, and so I started doing it, and really got into the groove. I really enjoyed it and loved all the people on the show, and I had a mother and a father on the show. Larry Weber, Louise Troy. Louise Troy was my mother. She was married to Werner Klemperer, that actor, the actor, Werner Klemperer from Heroes. Yeah. And Larry Weber, a wonderful actor. And so many,
I don't remember him.
Yeah, just wonderful people. And I started doing the show, and I think I did somewhere around in between 800 or 900 episodes.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Colleen Jason says, Colleen as Aunt Jourdan perfectly blends camp and terror equally. It's perfectly over the top and such a delight to watch.
I am so over the top. I am so over the top.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, that's the best.
Sometimes I'm over her top, but and then we even out.
Mysterio says, I hope YNR can make sure they don't go to jail. Just have the power to cause the Newman grief.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. That's a nice idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ray, I was curious, what led you, you wanted to be a theater actor, but what led you into acting? Where did your love of the arts begin?
I wanted to be an actor from the time I was about 10 years old. Really, I did the 4th grade Christmas play, and the part that I got was playing a Christmas tree. I was a Christmas tree in the background with these pine branches on my arms, and they had lights on me. And there was a guy and a girl who were the leads in the play, and they were skating on a pond in front of me. And I thought to myself as I was playing the tree, someday I want to be that skater.
Wow. So
I don't like being back here.
I don't like being the tree.
in 4th grade, I'd already, I've been a little dancer. I already made my TV debut at 5 years old. NBC Chicago, thank you.
Wow.
But in 4th grade, I made my first production playing Christopher Columbus.
You were Christopher
It was
Columbus?
Christopher Columbus.
What kind of an outfit did you have?
I pants and hat
Yeah.
and-
You had a
Yeah.
wig for the
No,
Chris?
I
No?
was Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
I played a guy for the first time. My first play I ever did. I played a guy. There we go.
For both of you, what's your favorite stage role?
I've
Huh?
never told that story.
What was that?
What are your favorite stage roles that you've played?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I think playing Timmy Cleary and The Subject Was Roses.
Oh.
I think
Oh.
playing Francisco Pizarro in Royal Hunt of the Sun. Playing Don Quixote and Man of La Mancha.
Wow. Wow.
That's what I
Wow.
can. The ones I can think of off the top of my head. Playing Haas and Sam Shepard's A Tooth of Crime.
Mm-hmm.
That I won the Obie Award for in New York. That's the off-Broadway Tony. Yeah, and those are ones I can think off the top of my head. How about you?
Okay. Well, Dolly, obviously.
Mhm.
Dolly.
I saw you do that in New Hope.
Pardon?
I saw you do that in New Hope.
I know you did.
Ah,
I know, honey. Thank you. Phyllis Stone, Sondheim's Follies. Probably one of my favorite roles I've ever done.
oh wow, yeah.
Such a brilliant piece of theater,
Mm.
brilliant role. It suited me perfectly. And then more recently, Other Desert Cities, which I've done twice now, which I love. And then there's Love Letters, which did you ever see?
I never saw Love Letters, I don't think. No.
You're
You too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're talking about it.
Yep.
Are you good? I think fans would come out in droves. Oh my God, that'd be so great.
Yeah.
It would be a good piece for us.
Totally.
In fact, if there's anybody out there who has a little theater somewhere and they would like to have the two of us there, just make an offer,
Make an offer. Absolutely. Do you still at the stage have a dream role?
Well, let's see. I played Hamlet and Hamlet. That sort of got me into the soap opera groove, learning 35 pages a day. I learned the entire text of Hamlet in 4 weeks.
Oh, geez.
And at Playmakers Rep down at the University of North Carolina, that they had a professional repertory company there. And that was also one of my favorite roles, but a bear to do. It's just it's the longest role in history of theater. It's the Rolls Royce of roles, and if you can pull that one off, and I think they called mine the Clint Eastwood Hamlet, because you knew when I came on stage that somebody was going to die.
Well,
Does that scare you, taking on such a challenging role?
Yeah, it did, and anytime I feel scared, I feel good because I know that it's something worth doing, and the challenge is to do it well. And so if it frightens me, that's what I want.
okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
About a week ago, I had a classic actor's nightmare.
What?
The actor's nightmare. Like waking up
Not knowing your lines?
not knowing my lines, not knowing my choreography, not knowing what I'm going to be doing. And I hadn't had one of those
In a long time.
for a long time.
See?
Yeah,
You get those creative juices
Yeah.
going again.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
So on my
Do you
end,
two talk shop sort of all day? Because I could see like the enthusiasm from
Oh,
both
we
of you
do.
so much.
Yeah, we do.
that's what we do.
Well, we have 7 decades to talk about.
So there's quite a bit. Michael was asking you, Colleen, when I mentioned the over the top that the other Jason mentioned, who are your over the top actor inspirations?
Whoa.
I want to hear this.
Carol Burnett.
What's up on the mattress?
Carol Burnett.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
you don't get much more than that.
He was my idol when I was growing up. I wanted to be Carol Burnett. I wanted to be Carol Burnett and Liza Minnelli. Kind of like all packaged up together.
Yeah. Well, you sort of are.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, and talk about she's still killing it.
Yeah.
Carol or Liza?
Carol.
Oh,
Carol's
my,
Carol.
still-
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. What a talent.
I'm unbelievable.
Mm.
But going back to your question about characters that I would want to play,
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard.
Mm.
Norman Desmond.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Sweeney Todd.
right.
Okay. That's about it. If I could do those 2 characters, I'd say I'm a happy girl.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That Angela Lansbury character.
There we go.
Correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Mr. Well,
I'd love to be a fly with you two. It's fantastic.
You know,
I was looking. Yeah, go ahead, Ray. What were you?
One time I was invited to an AARP banquet, movies for old people, I think. and I was going to accept an award for David Strathairn for
Oh
Good
my
Night,
God.
Good Night and Good Luck. I was
Yeah.
in the movie Good Night and Good Luck that George Clooney directed. And so David couldn't pick up his award. So they sent me in his stead. And I received the award from Shelley Berman and Angela Lansbury.
Kelly.
So that when you said
Yeah.
when you mentioned Angela Lansbury,
Yeah,
I thought about that,
Oh my God.
and then I took the award from their hands and then thanked them for David, and then Shelley Berman was kind enough to say he complimented my performance in Good Night and Good Luck, and where I played Don Hollenbeck, and I commit suicide in that.
I did not see that film.
You did not see that film?
Yeah, I haven't either. That's a George Clooney one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Well, you have to see it. It's wonderful. It's a wonder, and everybody's in it. You know, Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Daniels and
Oh my God.
Patricia Clarkson.
Oh my
and,
God.
Yeah, and
Incredible cast.
yeah, Frank Langella. Yeah, just an incredible cast. Yeah, and
I saw Frank do Dracula, I think.
huh?
Didn't Frank do Dracula on Broadway?
They played Dracula on Broadway,
Yeah.
a character that I always wanted to play.
You should have done that.
Yeah, I
You
always
should have done that.
I when I was
You
12.
should have done that.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know that.
You need to be each other's agent.
And when I was 12 years old, someone gave me a first edition of Dracula,
No.
Bram Stoker's book,
Are you kidding?
1897.
Do you
First,
have it?
yeah, first U.S. edition, not the European one. 1897, and I became a Dracula file. Really, I must have read that book
That
3 or 4
explains
times.
a lot.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm a fan of all the Dracula movies, the Hammer ones with Christopher Lee and all of that, but the definitive Dracula's never been done. Gary Oldman's was okay, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula was okay, but not like the book.
So you're the expert.
I think perhaps I am, and I think I would really like to do that role.
Is anybody out there listening?
I know.
I want to be faithful to that book, and do the definitive Dracula, and of course, now they have the technical capability of making me younger when I have to be younger.
There you go.
Yes, they do. You're right.
Smooth out all my wrinkles. They can, firm up my chin and so I can go from being an old man to being a young Dracula.
A young Dracula.
Yeah.
Ray, I wanted to read what Mel wrote. She said, Mr. Ray Wise is so brilliant. His portrayal of Leland Palmer scared me silly for years. I love Mr. Ray Wise.
Thank you.
You have done so many episodic. I actually, when I was looking at IMDb today and I saw Charlie's Angels, that was my show growing up. I went back and saw your big hair today. What is your so many episodics? Do you have a favorite?
Well, the Charlie's Angels was actually my first job out here in California.
Really?
When I left New York.
Oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis, and then with all of the Angels.
That was her second job. Her first
Oh my God!
The first one was a film called Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Went out of Halloween to do Charlie's Angels with me, and I played this ex-army guy who was stalking her, and she was a female professional golfer.
Yeah.
And I think I got eaten by an alligator.
Oh, good God!
On a golf course
In Florida.
Probably. It would have to be.
No, that is amazing. That was your first
in Louisiana too, I guess. But yeah,
your first gig in California.
Huh?
That was your first gig in California.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Charlie's Angels. Yeah, and then right after that, Barnaby Jones.
Oh.
You remember Barnaby Jones?
I do, of course.
Yeah. With him? Did you do a little dance?
He didn't like to do that.
Really?
No, he was a sweet guy, a wonderful man. But I think he was past his dancing days. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the fans have just eaten this up with a spoon. They could watch you both for hours. They want you to, stay out of jail. They want you to take over Newman Enterprises.
I love that.
I like that.
Yeah. Before I let you go, the holidays are approaching. Colleen, will you be back in Florida or still?
I'm going home for a while. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Will you be traveling, both of you, for the holidays? What are the holidays like?
No, go ahead.
No, I was. Both my daughters were here for Thanksgiving. We had a beautiful week together, and now I'm going back home to all of my friends in Florida, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to be staying put and spending most of my time in my own backyard.
I love that.
With all of my fruit trees, and I like to swim in my pool, and I don't need anything more than my own backyard.
I hope to have a pool in my backyard one day for the same purpose. For the same purpose. I don't need to leave. Such a delight to meet you, Ray. Colleen, I love you. Thank you so much. Enjoy all of this. The fans are totally enjoying every second of it. And one of them, Martin, just said, "Can I be Aunt Jourdan's henchman?"
It couldn't be better.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks, hon.
Bye. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you to Colleen and Ray Wise for joining me today. And Mariah and Claire should be very afraid of Ian and Aunt Jourdan. So stay tuned to The Young and the Restless weekdays at CBS. Please join me this Friday when my friend Rick Hurst joins me live to talk about his return to Port Charles as Rick Lansing. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so down below. Turn on the notifications for reminders of all upcoming shows. And if you'd like to stream audio versions, just search The Locker Room on your favorite podcast app. Have a great evening, everybody, and I will see you on Friday. Stay safe.